The overall mission of the Navy Art Collection within the Naval History and Heritage Command is to collect, preserve, and present the art that is created and related to the history of the U.S. Navy. I often get asked, why does the Navy have an art collection? Isn't that what photography is for? But for most of the history of the Navy, there was no photography. So if you wanted an image of the first Secretary of the Navy, that was a painting. If you wanted to remember a battle of that time, you probably created a drawing or an engraving that could be duplicated into a publication like Harper's Weekly. The overall collection has about 20,000 pieces of artwork. That's oil paintings, watercolors, drawings, engravings, sculptures, and posters. Each type of artwork is cared for differently. So paintings are usually kept in their frames to protect the canvas, and we store them in a racking system just because of the limited space we have. Drawings, and watercolors, and posters, things on paper, are usually best stored flat. So we have flat files to care for those. And for the sculpture, they like being out in the open on shelving. The Navy Art Collection loans our exhibits and individual pieces of artwork to a variety of museums throughout the United States. All they need to do is contact us and we can talk with them about the requirements that are needed. The loan process starts off with a museum requesting an exhibit. We make sure that it's available, that it's framed, that the artwork is in good condition, and then we pull it from our storage and we wrap it and pack it in crates for it to be shipped. Some of the oldest pieces in the collection date from the late 1600s. Now obviously those aren't US Navy because there was no United States, but the United States Navy was based on traditions from the French and the English and the Dutch. So we have those pieces in our collection, and the newest pieces we have are the artworks that the artists have on their easels right now. The Navy Art Collection is lucky enough to have 2 combat artists on staff. They create artwork based on their experiences and what they see. They are fortunate enough to travel out to the fleet and shore installations to experience what life is like in the Navy and come back and create artwork based on what they see.
When I go on these trips, wherever it is, ashore or on the ships, the sailors and officers and chiefs, they're always really grateful that the Navy goes to the trouble to send an artist to go watch them do their job and then do paintings. Usually there's 1 or 2 paintings that when I see the scene on the ship, I'll know I'm going to do a painting. Other paintings, I don't really decide to do it until later. What I paint is a mixture of what I want to paint and what the Navy needs. So it's a blending of those 2. One of the big things I learned from going on these trips is the sailors would come up and say, oh, the Navy has artists? And so I said, well, yeah, the Navy wants to document what you're doing out here. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I guess the one thing that I'd like the public and people in the service to realize is the Navy cares about documenting what you do in the service, and the Navy cares about conveying that story to the public.
Preserving the artwork of the Navy is vital to telling its story throughout history. It's vital to telling the story that happens today and that happened for the past 250 years.